Welcome, today we've got multiple clips of Hazard 7 True Solo Refinery. Now after I did my solo refinery I thought how could it be harder, let's do it without Bosco and let's do it as a true solo. And this is my journey so far because I'm not even sure this is possible, and I've broken this down into phases, and the beginning part is literally just these 6 phases we've got on the screen, and True Solo Refinery on Hazard 7. I'm not even sure if it is actually possible to do this, but it's a challenge that I've set myself, and this is part 1 of that challenge, and really this is just the evolution of what I've learnt so far through my fails. So what I've got here is phase 1 is just the escape, because just get out of the dropship on Hazard 7 Solo Refinery, or let alone True Solo, is pretty difficult actually. And here are a few clips of me just not even really being able to get out of the dropship, and this is just completely ended runs before I've even really got anywhere. Now one of the issues that you're going to have is the fact that often you just get so many waves, or just the spawn which is already generated on the map before any waves come in is just so insane. There's so many spitballers, so many Bacteria grabbers and Bacteria plague around that you just can't even really get out the dropship, or by the time you do, you've expended so much ammo that you're in a bad situation anyway. Also, one of the problems is the fact that the longer that you sit in the dropship, the timer is ticking down for the first wave. And this is where we start getting into sort of phase 2 and 3, because really we need to get some sentry guns set up where we need them, probably near the refinery, and we need to get a resupply in, because otherwise when that first wave comes, if we run out of ammo, it's going to cause us issues. So really we need to get out of the dropship as quickly as possible and start doing that. But when we've got a situation like this where I can hear Bacteria grabbers, I've got the goo bombers going around, you can't really escape the dropship. And often these types of runs, you just know this is not going to end well, and this is probably going to be a short attempt. It's also very difficult because even if you do get out of the dropship, often there will be other hidden spitballers around which can also cause issues, which is I think what happens in this clip also. I also try and really take down these needle site breeders because they cause so many issues later on when you're trying to put pipe down, so if I can take them down early whilst in the dropship, I would do that. So here we can see, I think I've just got panicked by the spitballer, thrown a stupid grenade, and that's literally it, run over. Because don't forget, I've only got iron will, so I've got the iron will life, and then that's it, it's all over. So this one's just to show you how it can go completely wrong. The dropship landed on the prospector drone. I should have probably just, as soon as that happened, just restarted here, but I thought, oh, I'll carry on for a bit, see how bad it can be. But obviously, you know, like we've seen in that first clip, it's this bad. You've got the Bacteria, you've got the grabbers around everywhere, let alone also having the drones also. This is just obviously not going to end well. And some runs just can go completely bad. Like I saw the refinery just over the side and I thought, oh, this could be a good run. I was trying to find the grabber, the trawler just comes and smacks me, knocks me across the room straight into a bloody spitball effector, and then I get hit by a dust vent. And yeah, so literally some Hazard 7 solo refinery runs can be over in seconds. It's literally done and dusted. Another thing that you will see in my clips later on, I'm always scanning the ceiling to try and find a leech, because again with no Bosco, a leech is literally just one of your lives gone, and when you've only got one spare life of iron will, that's just a run completely gone. You can't take those risks with leeches, so I'm always super careful. And here we're starting to see, I've sped up this first section because we've seen how insane it can be, the first section. So I've sped this up so that we quickly get to actually phase 2, where I've managed to get to sort of trying to set up my turrets. And this is quite a nice position. I managed to take down a breeder early, which is good. There isn't too much of a swarm. There's a fair amount, but it's not too outrageous like we've seen in the other clips. And the refinery is right there that I can see. So this is actually looking pretty good. I was pretty happy at this point. I've got a breeder down, I've got the refinery right there, and actually the refineries, one of the issues is when the refinery is in a tight position, it makes it very difficult to kite, whereas here I could see the refinery was in quite a nice position. So actually this was looking pretty good at this point. I was pretty happy. So now we're getting to just trying to get our turret set up, and this is not as easy as it would sound, but that was a terrible plasma grenade there, it's not helping anything. I've got the slower deploy, I don't have the quicker deploy because I've got the quicker refill on the sentry guns, and that is because often if I can just get them set up, when I've got massive waves coming in, it's so much easier if I can refill them quickly. So I'd rather have the quicker refill, just because you will see in clips later on where I literally might only have 1 second before I need to run before I'm being shot at. So if I can get 1 second and double the amount of ammo I can get in, it's much better. So we're in phase 2, I've got the turret set up, but now I'm desperately trying to get enough nitra to get the first resupply in. So for 2 reasons. One, the amount of ammo that I've expended in the dropship just trying to get out, I'm going to need that resupply, ideally before the wave comes in. Unfortunately, because I was in the dropship for so long, the wave has already come in, so it's probably going to make it impossible for me to resupply without the use of dying and having that iron will. And also I need to have a resupply if I do die for that iron will, and I completely mess up here. I didn't deposit all of the nitra that I needed, so this has just caused issues. So I could feel this one was just getting away from me. The amount of time that it took me, even though it was only sort of an extra, say, 10 seconds to to go back up, deposit that nitra, that's 10 seconds which I'm not doing DPS on these waves to try and finish this wave off. So I could just feel this one was getting away from me. Also, the million menaces wasn't helping as well. I couldn't stand still to get a resupply. I couldn't refill my sentry guns, but even then you can see the amount of ammo I've got. I've only got 34 left. Again, this is why you need to get out the dropship quickly, get that resupply in, and ideally get a resupply before the first wave comes in. So this is just, I've got the oppressor coming in. I can see basically I've got no breach cutter ammo. I've got 1 grenade. I'm almost down to no smart rifle ammo. So this was pretty much, I was pretty much just going to die here. Obviously the trawler speeds that up. So I pull out the breach cutter because I'm probably going to need to be firing that, and because I've got resupplier, it's going to reload as soon as I resupply. And you can just see the amount of menaces. I should have probably tried to focus them down a bit more. I think I had quite a few clips where I was actually lined up, but the smart rifle, I either hit hidden terrain or something goes weird and I don't actually hit them, which was causing issues. So this is pretty standard, and for Hazard 7, this is probably the first thing. It's getting your turret set up, getting a resupply in, and then it's surviving this first wave, and then you can actually have a bit of time to sort of breathe and get onto phase 4, which is kind of exploring and getting some more nitra in, hopefully getting another resupply in. But it's relentless Hazard 7, especially without Bosco. Even just a few ice grenades, I could have, maybe saved a bit of ammo on these, on the Wardens or on these Praetorians, and just a little bit of DPS that Bosco will do is going to save me. Instead, just these menaces, just relentless firing and end up taking me down. So this is finally our run where we actually managed to do all 6 of these phases, and this is probably the furthest I've got so far. There was one where I managed to get the actual first pipeline constructed, built and connected, but it was literally only 3 pieces of pipe and it was right next to the refinery. This one is a bit more of an accurate, what a normal run is actually like. So this is the one I've included, and you can see just the difference. Sometimes the actual start of a map isn't too bad, and either the stationary enemies are on the other side of the map, or they aren't causing issues. Maybe the Macteria is on the other side of the map, or they just haven't spawned for whatever reason. But when you get an easy start like this, it is so nice because you've just got a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room. If we compare this to those other runs, you can really see the difference here, where I can just take a little bit of time to think about what I want to do, and also I'm not expending that crazy amount of ammo. So actually, phase 1 on this map, or on this seed, with the escape, is actually pretty straightforward, and I'm going straight into phase 2, and then I'm going to be going straight into phase 3, trying to survive this first wave, or, you know, trying to get the nitro, sorry. So this actually was quite nice, and I thought, this one isn't looking too bad. The refinery wasn't in the greatest of places, but I've got that. That's why I went and set the turrets up on the other side. I've got a little bit more room to kite over there. So this one was looking like a pretty good start, and I was really quite happy with how we've got here. You know, just think about the difference on that other one with all the menaces. I've basically still got pretty much all of my ammo. Yeah, I've used up 3 of my grenades. I've got my turret set up, and I'm getting a resupply in. So here, feeling pretty good, and even, you know, I'm running so far ahead that, yeah, the wave is coming in, but I've even got a little bit of time to have a think and actually setting up a few extra defences to try and get some choke points as well. So this is kind of the dream Hazard 7 solo refinery start, when you don't have that crazy huge swarm at the start just sucking away your time and ammo. And this is why the execution is quite good as well, because I can just quickly take down these targets. I've got a quick time to kill, and that's what I'm going to need, because otherwise I'm going to get overwhelmed. So goo bombers, absolutely essential. They need to go down ASAP. Getting stuck in the goo is just an absolute nightmare. Or even just, if you're dealing with swarms so much, you can actually not realise that they're firing. And that, like, blob of goo that they fire, especially on Hazard 7, is an insane amount of damage. And here we can see the quicker reload speed on the sentry guns. I knew I literally only had a second and a half, so I just topped them up a little bit and moved on. And I've really started to notice more also, when the slashers hit you, you get that little icon at the bottom middle of your screen with the little sort of like your stunned or slowed icon. And from doing Hazard 7, I've really started to notice when that comes up. This was really annoying. I thought I was far enough away from the exploder not to lose that life. So that was pretty painful, because like I say, this was actually quite a nice map seed, well, from what I've observed so far, and quite a nice start. And to lose a 1 life, or my only extra life, in that sort of stupid way was pretty annoying. So yeah, I was saying about the sort of middle bottom stun thing, because quite often you will see, like, you get hit and you try and run away because you're generally faster than grunts. Just noticing that that stun icon has come up has really started to train my brain of, like, I can't just carry on running, I need to turn around and kill the slasher. So here, like, I've just dealt with wave 1, and again, like, if we consider that one with all the menaces, this isn't looking too bad. I've done one of my resupplies. Unfortunately, stupidly lost that life, but you know, that's where we're at the moment. So luckily, you've got all these loot bugs building up, so I can quickly get enough nitro for another resupply. And ideally, I really want a whole bunch of resupplies spread out around, so that I can kite away, and then potentially kite away so far that I can then actually just get, you know, to another resupply and go back up to full health and ammo. So I saw the prospector and I was just like, oh, really trying to obviously not trigger that. So here. So I've got 2 resupplies, so I might be able to, you know, if I could run away from, lure them to one place, and then I might be able to get to one of these resupplies, you know, to actually resupply in the middle of a wave would be handy. So here I'm just thinking, I'm just trying to, this felt like not a bad place to defend here, and if I could actually just, because the waves, you're going to be getting waves like every 2 minutes or whatever it is, I can't remember what the ratio is on Hazard 7, but you're going to be getting waves often, and especially even just when wardens spawn, they spawn with like a little mini wave as well. So here I was just like, if I can get this defensive position, I'm not worried about setting up pipes or anything at the moment. I just want to make sure that when the next wave comes, this is a good place to defend. I've got multiple resupplies, because then when I deal with the next wave, then I'll start worrying about, you know, getting some more nitra, getting you know, some pipe laid. In hindsight, I should probably set some platforms up around here just to make it a little bit easier to sort of like parkour and get around. And then the bulk detonator, yeah, I mean, it's RNG. This was, I could have really done without the bulk detonator at this point, because this isn't even the bulk detonator. This is just, I guess, just general map spawn. You know, because we haven't had an announcement that this is a wave. It doesn't really feel like this is like a you know, an unannounced mini wave. This is just the bulk and some random enemies come in. So I know that I've probably got a wave coming any moment as well. I was trying to lure the bulk detonator away. I thought, you know, I thought I could get it further over here, but it seems to take, you know, quite a long time. And obviously I'm slowing it. I really should not have killed it up there. I think I forgot that the sentry guns were firing at it. Yeah, because now that's just blown up my half-decent defensive position, which was not helpful at all. So here you can see, this is why on the other maps where I said if I see a Needosite breeder I could take it down, because you're just going to get these, you know, the Needosite jellies or whatever it is they're called, hatchlings, just constantly, just because they're on the other side of the map, they're just constantly causing issues, and it's just a real pain. So if I can take those down early, I will do. And you can just see this crater has just instantly made this kiting in this defensive position so much harder to try and do. So I really should have. I got carried away firing a breach cutter at it, forgetting the sentry turrets there. I really should have just lured it down into this hole down here somewhere. But also, the more time that I spend luring it away, you know, the more time I'm losing where I need to be getting nitra, I'm expending ammo. So yeah, it's a difficult one. Reloading. So this is just the jellies. I mean, Thorns helps, and I've got the, when my shields go down, it explodes, so it does help. But yeah, killing the breeders early is yeah, it's really handy. So this massive crater, it's really annoying here, because obviously it's making it harder for me to get breach cutter shots. You know, it's just, yeah. It would have been far easier if I just had like a nice, clear, open area. So difficult on Hazard 7 because it's, you literally, if you get distracted for a second, like this trawler, look how much damage it's just knocked off of me. And I've got no extra life here, literally my next death, and this is the end of this run. So it's yeah, it's like you get distracted for a second and you're toast basically. Oh god, that was close. That was almost game over there. I'm actually thinking that on my next attempts, because I was doing the dust biome or the sand biome, because I was thinking I could, you know, if I need to dig through a wall to get a pipeline set up, it's going to be easier on this one. But the trawlers are actually so much of a nightmare and could cause so many, you know, silly or stupid deaths. But actually, I might just take the risk and just do, you know, just a normal biome and just hope that I get decent seed and it's, you know, I can either platform or whatever it is to the, you know, to the oil wells. So yeah, double repressor here. Also, it's just a waste of plasma grenades and no point firing plasma grenades at bigger targets like this, really. But yeah, you could just see that the crater from the bulk detonator without that, it would have been far easier to kite round and get to the back of these. And then the Warden's coming in and then giving them defense as well. And again, this just shows without Bosco, with Bosco, it's so easy just to you know, freeze a Warden and you take him down. And there you go. See, there's a trawler. Trawler just smacking me. You know, that could have been a death there if it knocked me into a bad position. So this is 2 waves. Two waves survive now. I can still hear the trawler around.
Ready to kill some more crates.
And I decide that actually, even though it's further away from the refinery, this is actually looking like a much more sort of, you know, better defensive position. It's actually a little bit flatter. I can run around and kite. I've already got some of those platforms set up to sort of parkour around, and you can see that's another trawler over there. So I think I'll definitely be going off of the dust map next time.
Platform up.
So it felt like I had a little moment to breathe here, which you don't often get on Hazard 7. And I thought, finally, here we go. I'll get the first pipeline built. And here, just look up. Like, I don't. This isn't an announced wave. I guess this could be like a little mini wave which is coming in. But it's quite a few enemies for. You know, this is on Hazard 5. This would probably be like, you know, a largest wave which is coming in. And then I get the announcement of the wave is actually coming, and I'm just like, oh, this is not good. And this just shows Hazard 7, you get distracted. The acid spitter, I thought I'd take down some of these weathers. The spawn it actually says the spawn, and then boom, and then that's it, run over. And that is my journey so far on Hazard 7, and this is the challenge of True Solo Refinery, so stay tuned for the next one.